Yo, what's poppin', man? I want to welcome y'all back to another episode of Dope Bear Podcast, man, the Oddcast podcast, where we sit up and we talk about all kind of things, man. We got guests from all kind of walks of life, but today, I got my uncle, man, Hall of Famer, man, real town legend, man, and just all around real 100% good dude, man. G, what's up, baby?
What's up, nephew? How you doing, man?
G, man, sounds good, man. How you holding up during these times?
You know what I'm doing, man. You know I'm out here messing with you, even though I'm trying to tell everybody to stay safe. We really don't know nothing about this thing, man, but we're going to get through it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get through it, too. But just keep everybody healthy and safe, man, and just kick it, man. You know, that's it. That's all we can do is just try to weather the storm.
And weathering the storm, man, we talk about that. It's funny because I was going to talk about in Seattle, you know, you talk about rainy city and everything that's going up in Seattle. I went to Seattle when I was younger, and, you know, being from the town, we was always prideful of Gary Payton, but in Seattle, you like a god, huh? Like for real, like it's Gary Payton is like a god up there, man. Like, why do you feel like your connection to that city is so strong, huh?
Nephew, it's just like, you know, me going to college in Oregon State, then staying in the Northwest and getting drafted by Seattle, and I'm staying over here in the West Coast. It makes it a lot more homely, you know what I'm saying? Instead of me going to the East Coast, I came over there and went to the Northwest, and all of a sudden we started being who we were, the Rain Man, the Glove, winning a lot of games, doing a lot of positive stuff. So in the 90s, we dominated that. And then you just look at how good the people are in Seattle. That's what we think about. How good these people are in Seattle to keep me to being that type of person and being so popular like I am. And then I stay around here a lot. You know, I still got a lot of businesses around here. I'm in restaurants out there. You know, I got my agent still out there, and I'm Eric Goodwin. And I stay connected. And I stay doing a lot of things out there, you know what I'm saying? So the people love me because of the fact that I don't give up on them. And we're trying to get back with the Seattle Sonics. We're trying to get them back, which is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. So they love me for that, to stay involved with their community. And when I stay involved with their community, a lot of people keep seeing me all the time there. I didn't just play 13 years there and just bounce. I come back and I give to that community. And, you know, I raise a lot of the dudes up in there. Jamal Crawford, Brandon Royce, the Jason Terrys, Nate Robinsons, you know, and guys like that, even Isaiah Thomas. You know, I raised them kids, man. They went to my camps. You know what I'm saying? Will Conroy, he's assistant coach for the Washington Redskins now. So, you know, I raise these dudes, and that's what it is. And then when they're there, and then what they do, and they stay the positive way and do the things that I taught them, everybody say, man, they came up under the GP.
For sure.
And then it gets more love and more love.
We talked a few years ago, and we was talking about G after basketball. What were some of the things that you wanted to do? And to me, you're so involved in the game, I'm surprised that I haven't saw you a part of anyone's coaching staff.
You know, that's going to be hard for me to coach, because I think in the mentality of myself. I say, if I did it, why can't you do it? And this is a different era, you know what I'm saying? They play a different type of basketball, and with my mentality and the way I talk and the way I want something to be. If you see me on the Big Three, I coach the same way. Right. I'm cussing, I'm doing a lot of things. I expect out of that, and they, you know, it's only a 3-on-3. Right. But that's just the way my mentality.
Intimidating to certain people.
Yeah, it's intimidating to certain people. So, and then organizations might don't want that, and then some players might not can't take that, and some agents can't take that. But they gotta understand, I'm just trying to get the best out of them as I can.
The way you know how.
The way I know how. My daddy did me like that. If I was somebody's kid and they downgraded me all the time, which my daddy did, and I took it in a positive way and made myself who I am, then they should be able to take it too. But we can't say that in different eras.
Different times.
Yeah, it's different times. So to me, that's why I say I'd rather run a team and get the guys who I know that can take what I can, what I want, and I know that they're gonna be dogs.
They say that great players rarely transition into being great coaches because of they're expecting them from others.
You see it. You see with Larry Bird. You see with Magic Johnson. A lot of great basketball players cannot be coaches because they expect too much from a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So you see the players who become coaches are probably a mediocre average basketball player, and they was built to be driven into becoming a head coach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why they can take it. You know what I'm saying? And they can take it, and then they know what it is, what it's about, because they do their role and they know what they do
as a role player, how they can get out of role player.
And that's the way it is. And for us being superstars and the players who we were becoming Hall of Famers and stuff like that, we expect a little bit more.
So there's always a long rumor of who was the best player from the town, and I've asked everyone that I've had a chance to talk with and speak with. We hear about Hook Mitchell, and everybody wants to, and Hook, that's my brother Wale. But I'm also mindful that sometimes people just say the underdog because they didn't make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not trying to throw any dirt, but people like, Hook was the best, he just didn't make it. But in your honest opinion, between you, J Kidd, AD, Ryder, Dane, where does GP rank on that list? Do you feel like you're the best player to ever come from the town?
And nephew, I would never do that. I would never do it because when people ask me who is GOAT in basketball, I never say that. I say it's a lot of other basketball players. If I really put it in the process in that way, I'll say Bill Russell was the best to ever come out of here, and that's it. I wasn't better than Bill Russell. I think Bill Russell set the tone for all of us to come and do what we did. I'm grateful for Dane, what he's doing right now in the NBA. Ryder, what he did. J Kidd, what he did. Antonio Davis, what he did. Greg Foster, what he did. I just did something that I needed to do, and what my daddy expected me to do. We got out of Oakland and we made Oakland become a map thing where they be saying there's point guards, great guards come out of Oakland, and that's all we needed to do.
You set the pinnacle for what it was to be a great guard coming out of
Oakland. Yeah, it was a great guard, so I started it. You know what I'm saying? I was the first one to come out. And so when the first one come out, and then we had J Kidd come right behind us. Then we had Jay Ryder that was right with us. And then we got a young kid in Dan Lillard that is off the chain right now in the NBA. And all we're doing is we're setting a trend. You know what I'm saying? None of us are better than each other. Because I would never put Jason Kidd, me and him together. Because we're both Hall of Famers.
Right.
So I don't care about that. We did what we
both made it to
we both made it to the ultimate top.
And got that jury.
And there it is. And then we both got a championship ring, and that's what it is. And now I'm looking for the young boy to do the same thing. And dang, I love his mentality because he comes from where we come from. We're not going to go and join up with nobody to win a championship. He wants to win a championship by himself.
And I talk to Dame damn near every other day. Can Dame win a championship in Portland?
In my mentality, in my opinion now, no, not right now. Because they're not giving Dame the pieces to do with what he needs to be done with.
Right.
Which what he does, I don't think one man in a point guard can win an NBA championship by himself.
Right.
I just can't, I don't think that'll happen. I think that when they had Aldridge and Batum and all them, he had a great opportunity to win a championship. And I think Portland is not going there deal diligently to get to where he's supposed to be.
Right.
He's supposed to have a lot of players and a lot of other people to help him. And if Dame gets one or two basketball players that can help him, yes, he's going to win a championship in Portland. Do I think he's going to leave Portland? No, I don't. Because I think that he's a dog that like that. Portland's going to have to trade him. He's never going to ask for a trade. I think he's going to be the one who set that tone to get Portland in.
We speaking of Portland, the whole world right now is on this frenzy and they're watching The Last Dance. We're watching how Michael Jordan reacted to being referenced to him and Clyde Drexler being the best, the same player at that time, and Jordan went and torched those guys. You guys were able to take Mike 6 games. What was the competition like during those times between you and Mike, and what's some things that you remember between you and Mike? Because I know I was seeing, and I remember watching those games. I'm like, nigga, GP nigga ain't going out, man. He ain't going out, nigga. Mike got him fucked up.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was your level? What was the level of competition at that time, and what do you remember in Mike and seeing what he was ready to do and what he was willing to do to win those series?
Well, that's what I like about Mike, because he's a competitor. That's what he is. He don't back down. He talked shit. He knew he was great, and he knew it. But he had another dude in me that I wasn't gonna back the fuck down either. I was gonna go at you. You know what I'm saying? And I liked it because it was always a show between me and him because we're gonna talk, and then we're gonna show up. So in that series, I hate that I start playing him in game 4 because I didn't play him in the beginning because they didn't nobody know I was hurt. And then when I started, I told my coach, I said, forget it, man. We ain't got nothing else to lose. Let me guard it. So then
Who did they had Hershey? Who did they had
Hershey and
Vincent. That's Vincent, yeah.
On him. And he was playing. He was doing well. You know what I'm saying? He was actually about 30.
Right.
So then when I got him for 2 games, I held him to like 22. So then that's when Phil got smart and he switched Pippen on me. And Pippen was a bigger guy, and I couldn't post him up. And then when I turned around, he was always lengthy there and blocking my shot. So then I had to face him up. So I started facing him up and it changed him on film on the game. I think if Miller would have been there, it would have been a different series because he could have been guarding Jordan, and I think he would have did a great job with Jordan. And then I think Sean started.
Definitely, how ineffective was that?
You know, that was crazy because, you know, Detlef didn't have a good series. Detlef only averaged 12 or 13 points. Mm-hmm. That was hurt us too.
Right.
And then Sam didn't have a good game. You know what I'm saying? So we were not having a good game. I think we were playing not to lose
instead of trying to
play to win. And that's where that was the 2 of us a good team, and then Dennis Rodman took everything away. I think he's the reason they really won the series because he changed the momentum of the game by taking Sean out of the game.
I said he was frustrated, Sean.
He frustrated Sean a bit. He was taking us out the game because he would switch on to me. He would hit me, bump me, knock me down, and I was getting into it with him a lot about other things. And then that took away from my game. And then they let Kukos have a good game. They let Pippen have a good game. And then it was all bad because we couldn't take down 4 guys with only 2 guys.
Rob Thorne released a statement earlier this week saying that he never had a conversation with Michael Jordan about leaving Isaiah Thomas off the Dream Team. Do you think that's true?
Well, I don't think he had a conversation with Rob Thorne. I think he had a conversation with David Stern. I think that was the conversation because you have to understand during that time, Rod Thorne David Stern was really thinking about Magic.
Right.
Remember, because he wanted to take that area, take people to understand about HIV.
Right.
He wanted to put him on there and then make HIV be known in the world.
The world awareness of it, right.
Worldwide of it, and they wanted to put Magic on there. So when they didn't decide to do Isaiah, because of probably the beef of him and Jordan, it wasn't really a conversation that they needed to have. We don't know what Jordan said, if he did it or did not. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of the things that I think that he didn't have a conversation with Rod Thorne. He was basically talking to David Stern because David Stern had just now took over the Olympics and wanted us, all the players, to come back into it. And it was basically on Magic during that time. I think all the focus was on Magic, and I think Jordan probably, he might have, and he might not. He might have just said.
You knowing MJ, is the grudge holding that serious? Like, cause I'm like, John Stockton over Isaiah Thomas, come on.
Yeah, and that was what the thing is. I think grudges were held during that time.
Right.
You've forgotten that. When we played, we held grudges. We hurt people. And then when we wanted to see each other in another month or 2 when we played them, we held them grudges because I did it a lot. I look forward to playing against Tim Hardaway. I look forward to playing against Kevin Johnson. Them dudes I didn't like at the time in the NBA, and I look forward to going out. I did hold grudges like that. I wanted to punch them all the time. So that it was what it was. And you got to think about it. Isaiah and them did Jordan dirty. They was killing him. They was busting him upside his head. Right. Detroit was knocking him every which way. You know what I'm saying? Even the Knicks was doing that. They were doing dirty stuff to him. Right. And I can guarantee you it was a problem. Even with now Isaiah and Karl Malone. You know when Karl Malone put 40-some stitches in his head.
For sure.
That's still
to this day
is a grudge that both of them hold against each other.
Any player to this day that you don't fuck with, you like, I'm cool. Like I never agreed with your politics. I never liked you on the court, and even till this day, I'm like, what's up?
You know what? I grew up now, though.
Right.
I'm a little older now, and I don't care about that no more.
Right.
I had grudges against only probably 2 people. Tim Hardaway. You know, I really didn't.
Because it was y'all similar, or was it because he was playing in your city?
And it was because He was from Chicago.
Right.
He talk a lot of trash. He was talking shit, and then he in my city, and then he thinking like he running this city, in which you ain't doing it. It ain't gonna work like that. So you know what I'm saying. You come in here trying to disrespect me in front of my city.
Right.
Do it. You know what I'm saying. And it was a big part of that too. Playing with Gold State and then me coming home and trying to disrespect me. Yeah, it was a lot going on doing that. You know, and it was just like
y'all two is my favorite point guards. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Both of my favorites. Like my two favorite point guards was Tim Hardaway and Gary Payton. Gary because Gary from home and the way he played, and Tim because Tim was playing at home, and like Camp Hardaway was like the pinnacle for a nigga from the town. If you went to Camp Hardaway to play, he was like before AAU blew and blossomed like it is. It was camps back then.
Right,
and niggas would talk about who was who at camps.
Right.
And so Tim Hardaway had the camp up at Merritt, man. So y'all two was my favorite.
And me and him like this now.
Right.
We tight as shit right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know we like that. So but you know when we was in our era in the basketball, we didn't give a shit about each other because that's just the way we were. You know what I'm saying? That's our mentality. And now you know nowadays I don't care really about none of that stuff. If I see any one of them dudes on the streets now, what's happening, man? What's happening, fam? You know what I'm saying? I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't nothing. It's over. Our era is over. We done played. I respect the way you play basketball because after you, I'm telling you the truth. If I didn't never say nothing to you, I really didn't respect you.
For sure.
I ain't never.
If I ain't talk shit to you,
I ain't talk shit to you. You're nothing to me.
Right.
You're trash. So them guys got my attention because I really respected them because I knew they could get at me, and I knew if I didn't get at them right, they was going to embarrass me.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Growing up in that era, how hard was it to just focus on sports? You grew up in Oakland in a time where Oakland was kind of dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You had street kingpins, millionaires, and people that were. It was flourishing, man. You had. It's town. You couldn't keep the shit up. Who that? Is that Hub? That's Hub? That's my baby boy. Hey, baby. So listen, yeah, it's town business. It's still an era. So listen. During that time, how difficult was it to just focus on basketball and school? Coming up out of Oakland, coming out of East Oakland, being around what you were being around, seeing guys like Lil D and Mickey Mo's and all of these dudes, there was drug wars going on. And here it is, you the face of the town, colleges from all around the country is coming to come see you play. How hard was it to focus just on basketball?
It was really hard, nephew, but what happened was my father was a big part of my life. He kept me away from a lot of stuff. But then what happened was I got real tight with Lil D. So Lil D was always around me. He used to come to the games with Larry Parker. And they was around the game a lot, and that's when Hook and Larry P like brothers.
Sure.
You know, and they was hanging out with each other and we all hung out. So they really kept a little hub around us. And then you gotta think about it. Everybody that was doing their thing in the streets, I was cool with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I never had a beef with nobody, and I never thought I was bigger than anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I always talk, respect, play, and then when we play basketball together.
For sure.
I went out, you know, I took D to Piedmont Park, and we hoop at nighttime, man. It was just me and him. Didn't nobody ever know that. We'd go up there and hoop, and he'd be on 505 with us, and we'd get down. You know, we had a lot of things going on like that. So I got the respect from him, but then I stayed away from him. But the one main key that I really liked about all the dudes is if something was about to jump off, they always would hit me and say, man, get up out of here. Get up out of here. And that was the respect that they had for me because I thought that I knew that they knew that they saw something from me. And when I made it and everybody was messing with me, that's why I never left any round in the hood. So I always came back home in Oakland and I stayed and hung out in the hood, had barbecues and brought them over because they gave me enough love to not even mess with me and let me hit my dream of what I wanted to do.
A couple more questions and I'm gonna let it go. This year, the world lost arguably one of the greatest players from my generation. When we talk about greats, not only do I want to know where do you rank Kobe Bryant, but what's a fond memory that you have of Kobe Bryant that you wish you would have got a chance to share with him, or you wish you would have got a chance to just have one conversation? If you could have one last conversation with Kobe, what would it be, or what was your last conversation with Kobe?
Well, that's a good question. I had talked to Kobe 2 weeks before he passed. We were talking about the youngsters because they was like nephews to him. He wanted all the shoes, the kids wanted to do all that. And it just so happened his wife had called my ex-wife and was chit-chatting about how the kids are doing and all that stuff. And we were going to get together, and his Hall of Fame thing is this year.
Right.
We were talking about that. What was he going to do with who was he going to bring up and all that stuff. And I was looking forward to his speech and stuff like that. And it's amazing to me that I got an opportunity to play with him for a year when he was going through a lot of stuff. He was going through his rape case and all that stuff. And I got to become big brother. And we talked, and I got his smile. I got everything. I got how his mentality was. How did he think? And it was great. Now, if I could sit down and tell him one thing now, and our conversation would be, only thing I would tell him is that I was proud of him, the way he transitioned from basketball to being what he was to his daughter. That was what I would tell him. And I never got the chance to tell him that because I never thought this would happen. Because I wanted to see his daughter go to Connecticut. I wanted to see his daughter become the WNBA. And I wanted to see him coach, which he wanted to coach women's basketball and get into that era. He was about to start a lot of stuff doing that. And it's just sad that this happened. And it happened too quickly. We lose greats. And I think God does it for a reason. He takes somebody great from us all the time. And we got to see about it. You take Michael Jackson from us. You take Prince from us. You take great players, people from us, and it humbles the rest of us to understand that we're not, we can be God and we cannot, and something can happen. And I just hate that our conversation was fun and happy. What is going to happen in September? We didn't know this was going to do, this virus was going to come out and do that. We were just talking about what we were going to do at the Hall of Fame speech. And then the next thing you know, I get off the plane and I hear what happens. So, only thing I would talk to him about is how great he did with his daughter. The transition to do that, to start the Mamba Academy, do these things for women and take over women's sports. And what he was about to do is take over women's sports. As you've seen at the funeral, a lot of women spoke at his funeral because he impacted women's basketball because he knew how to do that. You know what I'm saying? He knew that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to make women's basketball bigger than what it was because it wasn't as big as ours are now. And now what the NBA does, the NBA now takes them as a sister and gives them a lot of money so these women can understand that they're great just like we are.
Mamba talk. Hated the sun broke the moment, and we're going to leave on a higher note. Gary Payton weed strain is the hottest shit in the streets right now. Everybody is talking about the numbers that it's doing. Seen a release date at Cookies, lines down the street. What made you want to get into that, and what else can we expect in that world of cannabis world?
Nephew was crazy. I got into it just off the cuff. It was all on social media, just off the blue, and people hit me. And a matter of fact, when they hit me, they was like, "Man, you got a strain out." Like, what? What kind of strain do I got out? They said a weed strain. So then, me being Oakland, I had to get down to the bottom.
What's happening? Who put my name?
What's happening? Called one of the homies. I told one of the homies, man, one of my ride or die. I told him to get in the streets and look and see what's happening. So we started, got a meeting, and the meeting was with Burner.
Shout out Burner.
Shout out to my boy Burner, which me and him was like this, boom coons now. You know what I'm saying? So we chopped it up right here downtown, right down the street, right here on Broadway. We chopped it up at a restaurant, and he said he knew who was knocking off the strand because he hadn't even released it yet. He was gonna get at me anyway to see
To
what
set
was
up,
happening, to
right.
set it all up, the whole thing with the packages and the pictures and all that. And so when we knocked it off, we got to the bottom of who was knocking the fake weed off, bootlegging it, and then we got it right. And then we launched it, got the packages out, and now what's going to happen is that I'm coming out with my own line and cookies, and we're going to have a lot more people to it. I got another strand that's coming out pretty soon. I don't want to spoil the appetite with a lot of people, but everybody understand this Gary Payton weed is strand is beautiful. I respect everybody who buys it. That means it's giving love to me, but what the love is for the grower too. Now, if you who put it together and made it so potent to be potent for them to hit it and say it's strong. It's strong. So,
I'm stuck like the glove.
Yeah, it is. So that's what we say. But we got a lot going on, man. We gonna have a good thing. They want that jersey on the package that got cookies on it. We coming out with that line.
For sure.
We coming out with the jerseys with the cookie on it with the 20. They gonna have that. So we got a lot going on, and I think me and Berner got together and made it a good thing for us, man, because we can understand each other's vision.
Right.
And I think the vision is good, and we just can go even bigger and bigger with this. So it's gonna be pretty hot, and I think I got a lot more coming out with it.
Favorite Too Short song?
Ooh, the Born to Mac thing was there, but I gotta say Ghetto. I said, yeah, I gotta live in the ghetto, man. I think that was the thing, because I think what Short did was when he was living in when he brought that out, he just let us all understand how we was when we was living in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? And now we're making it, but don't forget how we where we came from and what it was all about, and how we struggled to get to where we at right there. So let's not forget about all of them back there. Let's get back and do the things too. So I bumped that on my iPad when I'm on the plane, man, because I always remind myself of where I came from and what I'm doing and what I can be doing to help people. I don't put it out there what I do for people or how I help people. I just say, hey, look here, man. God gave me the ability to get a lot of money and be a person that can be hella good at basketball. Now let me help some of these other young kids or somebody else can do it, because I didn't have a Gary Payton growing up. I didn't have it. I didn't have a Gary Payton come to Skyline High School and say, man, stay this and stay that. I had a daddy. And so now you got a Gary Payton that can come to these other schools and come to these other places and help them and give them a goal to do the things. And now I'm happy for that, and that's what I'm gonna do. And as long as we keep doing this for Oakland and stop having people think Oakland is a bad place, which is full of shit. We are a great city.
For sure.
And we're a great city, and now that people understand that, we had a lot of great people come out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we want to be positive on that, all that stuff, and that's what I want people to understand.
Last question. Will your Niners get back to the Super Bowl?
For sure! That's what we don't do! That is it! Did y'all see that draft? We do! You understand me? That's what y'all got saying, man. Y'all ain't got to open no more the Raiders. Y'all got to, I don't know what y'all got now, but listen, come on down the street, man. Hey, listen, I've been a Niners fan for a long time.
Right.
When we grew up in the era of the 80s when
The Raiders was the Raiders.
Yeah. So I be saying like this: if you traded on me one time, I can't do it back at you. And what did they do? They bounced on us again. You know what I'm saying? So I tell you, wait from us, man. So I'm like this. I'm like, man, I gotta be a Niner fan. They ain't going nowhere. They moved from Frisco to Santa Clara.
That ain't
They
fine.
still in the Bay Area. So I'm good. So I'm gonna stay with them.
Y'all back to the Super Bowl?
We back there, man. We got it, man. I think we did a lot of good things. We got a lot of good pieces. We're gonna be all right. We might not got a quarterback, but we good. We like Jimmy G. He all right, man, but he ain't gonna put us over the hump. He will now. He done got a little taste in the Super Bowl.
For sure.
So we good.
Man, y'all got it here, man. The Dope Bear Podcast. I want to thank y'all, man. Give a big round of applause to my big homie. Hey, man. All family, man. I love you, man. Thank you for your time, man.
Always love.
For sure,
You know
man.
that, for sure.
Yes, sir.